Let's talk a little bit about installing magnets. In a couple of my products, I use magnets for various purposes, for centering purposes, for holding things together and allowing them to be easily removed. One of those is this enclosure, or this weighted base that I make for some of my joysticks. And it's printed in two halves, and it has the weights in the bottom, and the two parts are held together with these small magnets. You can see there's a magnet there, there, and there. This is where the USB goes, and these are the weights. Now, these weights, as you've probably seen in other projects, I use them a lot. They're for wheel balancing for car tires, car wheels. So they're real handy. They're heavy, and these are steel. They are not lead, so you're safe from that standpoint. And the magnets hold it together nice. In fact, it'll hold a joystick upside down amazingly. These little magnets, but installing them is a drag, right? So one gets pressed into there, pressed into there, pressed into there, pressed into there. Now, as I've mentioned to folks in the past, one recommendation when you're dealing with small magnets like this, these are 3 millimeters in diameter and 4 millimeters long. Don't try to do them individually because that'll just be an exercise in pain and agony. Instead, grab a stack of them like this, and then wherever you're going to be inserting it, hold it by the stack and then gently tap it into place. Now notice the important point here. Look at this sort of hammer I'm using. This is a completely brass head hammer. It's a machine brass hammer from Grace, USA. This is actually a gunsmithing hammer, and they use brass so that they don't mess up the steel when they're working on weaponry. Well, the huge benefit of brass is it's non-magnetic, so you aren't going to have, your hammer isn't going to stick to your magnets. Your magnet's not going to stick to your hammer. Now, you can find cheaper ones on Amazon that have a brass head, but the problem is the rest of the body is metal, and so the magnets love to just fly up to there. Ask me how I know. That's why I have this hammer. It's about $20, and it is well worth it if you do a lot of magnet tapping like I do. Tap, tap, tap. Now, this is all well and good, except as you know, I'm incredibly lazy, and lazy in a good way, in a software development sort of way, which is if I can automate something or make it easier, I do that. So I got sick of trying to align the magnets and figuring, oh my goodness, because these have to have, they get installed the opposite polarities so that the north and the south will meet, right? So I got to keep track of that, and oh my goodness, it flies all around. Simple way to handle it, and this is one of my loves of 3D printing, is the ability to make little inexpensive, quick tools that make life so much easier. So for these magnets installs, I just have this little, I don't know what is about 8 millimeters square, maybe about 40 long or so. I know I got a measure right here, 50 long. And I have it set so that there is a 3 millimeter hole in both ends. And you can see there and there, and you can see hidden inside there is one of the magnets and another magnet there. So the actual depth was, well, the magnet is 4 millimeters tall, so the actual depth is 6. So 4 millimeters for the one magnet, and then the other magnet will sit proud or poking out. When you hear proud, that means it's poking out like that. See? And I don't have to worry about, do I have the right one or whatever, because I know that one is the bottom and one is the top. So then I just, and actually I don't have a magnet in here while I'm doing it now. Of course the magnet doesn't want to come out, but you'd have a B bottom. Okay, I would go over my hole, tap, tap. It would go in halfway, so it inserts it that amount, and then I finish it off with a final tap tap to make sure it's flush, and good to go. So if you're dealing with magnets, my big recommendation is get yourself a nice little brass hammer. Makes things so much easier. And never forget about tools, fixtures, jigs, all those sorts of things that you could do with 3D printing, because in the time that I took to do this will save me so much time, and more importantly, aggravation in the future. So Always keep that in mind. I have just as many 3D printed tools and fixtures as I do finished products. So keep that in mind when you're designing stuff. Hope that helps.